Computer, let's get started.
Initializing scan.
Alright, let the show begin.
Protocol accepted.
In the past year or so, 3 internet mysteries popped up that really got my attention. They may seem very different, but trust me, they're connected. The second story is about Javier, who woke up in a hospital in the year 2027, in an alternate universe. In his version of the future, everyone on Earth has vanished. He's the only one left, and he has the video to prove it. The third mystery is known as the Backrooms, a reality adjacent to ours that, if the conditions are just right, you can accidentally fall into. Then you find yourself lost in an endless maze of dingy carpet, fluorescent light, and yellow wallpaper, and around every corner. What these locations have in common is liminality, or more specifically, they're liminal spaces. A liminal space is defined as a place of transition, a threshold between 2 distinctly different points, signaling the end of one and the beginning of another. Liminal spaces do exist as physical locations, but they can also be an emotional experience. They occur during periods of uncertainty and major life changes. The type of space currently coursing through the internet will have a few common features. They'll feel both familiar and strange. If you browse through photos on the liminal space subreddit, you'll come across many locations that you could swear you've been to, evoking a strange feeling of nostalgia for a place you've never been. TikTok has no shortage of quote-unquote time travel accounts. Some are entertaining, but they're mostly just goofy. But one account stands out from the rest. Well, this account is unique because he posts actual videos of deserted department stores, supermarkets, even entire football stadiums. Javier woke up in a hospital in Valencia on February 13th, 2027, and claims to be in an alternative universe. Apparently, at some point in the near future, every human on Earth just disappears. He said that when he woke up, he couldn't remember his name or where he lived. He went outside and everyone was just gone. Everything appeared just like 2021, but electronic devices showed 2027. And despite Valencia being a big city, there are no people in these videos. He goes to random apartments. He crashes at exclusive hotels. He accepts challenges to go to places that most people can't go. Fire and police departments. He even steals a few police cars. He goes to a military base. Some skeptics claim he's recording all this early in the morning. He responds by recording himself walking by public signs with the time on them. And there aren't many TikTokers who can reprogram a public digital sign. He's challenged to go to a hospital, not an old deserted one, an actual modern hospital. And he does it.
Bro, what's going on?
A lot of the places he visits do have off hours, but hospitals are full of people 24/7. But not these. Javier also claims our 2 worlds are connected. He's able to interact with objects in his world, which affects objects here. For example, a Spanish television show challenged Javier by leaving a book hidden on their set and told him to find it and move it. He did.
Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
El reto es el siguiente. Y tú vienes y lo coges, ¿vale? Aquí viene. Mira, ¿ves? ¡Pum! Ahí está. A ver si eres tan listo, lo consigues encontrar aquí en el hormiguero y me lo enseñas.
And when the studio went back to watch the security footage, you can see the door open and close. And just for a quick moment, you see some kind of figure flash by.
Mira, mira, mira. Es que te lo digo que lo vas a flipar. Mira, 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 mira. ¡Ay, ay, 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 ay! ¡Míralo!
Nah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No, 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 no.
¡Mira eso!
Nah, bruh.
Míralo,
Nah,
no. Te lo dije, mira.
Hay algo, ¿eh?
Viernes 21 a las 13:21.
Now, it would be terrifying to wake up alone in the world where every place you visit is a different liminal space. But worse than that would be waking up in a single liminal space that goes on forever.
Nah, he gotta debunk
The
that.
Backrooms is an internet mystery that began like many internet mysteries do, on 4chan. Someone asked members to submit disquieting images that just feel off. An anonymous user posted this photograph. Everyone who saw the image agreed. It was strangely familiar but unsettling, though nobody could explain why. Finally, a follow-up comment described it.
If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights, and maximum humbuzz. and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
No clip?
Well, no clip is a video game term. When two objects overlap, that's clipping. No clipping means crossing boundaries in a game that you're not supposed to cross, and ending up in areas not meant for the player. The Backrooms theory says it's possible to no clip into a different reality adjacent to ours, a reality you're not meant to ever see. Remember, liminal spaces are transitional. You're not supposed to stay there very long. You instinctively want to get out, to move on. The Backrooms are unnerving because you can't. It's an endless liminal space with no escape. Something about the Backrooms connected with people, and an entire culture was organically developed around the concept. Completely community-driven, the Backrooms has become crowdsourced IP with its own canon and lore, and there are now hundreds of levels of Backrooms, each with their own stories, their own rules, inhabitants, objects, even hazards. Fans can contribute to the lore through a few different wikis, completely dedicated to the Backrooms. Still, the Backrooms lived in dark corners of the internet. What brought the concept to the mainstream was a series of short videos by a creator named Kane Parsons. Using an ingenious combination of live action and 3D animation wrapped in a low-tech package, these videos give us a glimpse of what being trapped in the Backrooms would feel like. The videos also prove that liminal spaces are not a fringe theory. Millions of people have watched these. Clearly, the concept of liminality is universal. The video series begins with a group of kids shooting what looks like a student film in 1996. The camera operator suddenly no-clips through the ground and falls into the Backrooms.
A little more. A little more.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa!
Hello?
It doesn't take long for us to realize that we're not alone in the Backrooms. There's some entity aware of us and seems to follow us through the maze of empty yellow office space.
Hello?
Yo!
Some
no!
moments are definitely scary, but even when not being
bruh.
outright terrifying, the entire series is unsettling. As you, through the eyes of the lost cameraman, explore the Backrooms, you have a sense that you've been here before. I certainly have. There are certain angles and ways the walls are arranged that remind me of offices that I've worked at different points in my life. I worked jobs where the only light was overhead bulbs, and the only time you'd see the sun or the sky was if you were lucky enough to run out for lunch. That was my job last year, actually. For anyone who's worked in an office like this, there's a feeling of claustrophobia, of being trapped like a prisoner, where time seems to slow down and hours feel like they last for days. Unfortunately for people trapped in the Backrooms, time doesn't exist at all. There is no past and no future, so no brief respite for lunch, no exhilaration at the end of a long, boring day. The only time is the present, and like the space itself, the present is infinite. Eventually, our hero discovers graffiti on a wall which tells him to stay still. That turns out to be a terrible idea. After fleeing from the entity, we're taken to various locations which are essentially recreations of common photos of liminal spaces. The empty apartment, the deserted quad. And Kane's short film then builds on tried and true horror movie tropes like pursuit, claustrophobia, disorientation, and of course, the jump scare.
Oh, shit!
Kane's subsequent videos build on the lore of the Backrooms. The tone shifts from jump scare horror into more of a dystopian sci-fi thriller. It seems that there are ruptures in our world that allow people to accidentally pass into the Backrooms. This explains why the number of missing people is on the rise. Eventually, a corporation creates a prototype machine to access the Backrooms, and this is hailed as a world-saving technology. Because the Backrooms are so large, hundreds of millions of square miles, they can be used for storage, housing, even transport. Now, of course, things go wrong along the way. We have researchers trying to map the Backrooms, getting lost and falling into different levels and all kinds of chaos.
Oh my god. What do you see?
Everything okay?
Marvin, get the camera over here.
Across?
Fine, just hurry.
Okay.
Okay, watch it.
Whoa!
Oh my god!
Becca.
The series is still ongoing, so subscribe to Kane Pixels if you want to see what happens next. But you don't have to wait for Kane. Other creators have picked up the mantle and attempted to continue the story.
I think we just saw someone running. What the hell?
Now age 16, last seen Yuba City, California, November 27, 1984. Call 800.
Hello? Can you help me get down? There's something up here. Please.
Stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. We're gonna try and get you down.
To me, all these versions are equally interesting and unsettling. The Backrooms concept has spawned other media as well. A viral TikTok shows someone using Google Earth to zoom in on a location in Japan. As they move inside the building, we see the familiar wallpaper, carpet, fluorescent lights, and this time, different objects and entities. Indie developers are publishing video games based on the Backrooms and liminal spaces. Animoyopolis is one that looks interesting. It combines the uncanny liminal space concept with classic first-person horror and puzzle-solving elements. And liminality may seem like the cool new thing, and it's no coincidence that its popularity surged during COVID lockdowns when everyone was feeling isolated. But the concept has been around a long time. The phrase was created by Arnold van Gennep in his book Rites of Passage, released in 1908. And Gennep was more focused on life experiences, like transitioning from childhood to adulthood, graduating high school, or moving to a new city. And this concept of an in-between place, whether physical or emotional, has been explored in media and pop culture for years. And speaking of the apocalypse, let's circle back to our two other mysteries and see if we can figure out what's really going on.
Yo, I can't wait for this debunk, bro. I need the debunk.
Javier, the lonely survivor in Spain,
Único sobreviviente.
he has a very interesting and compelling TikTok account.
I need the debunk immediately, bro.
And people are constantly trying to debunk him. Some say his hands look different in each video, implying that he's actually a team. And there may be something to that. You have to dig really deep, but it turns out that Javier is working with the city of Valencia on a media project called The Lonely Survivor, which is why he has access to all these places, and why he's able to clear out entire stadiums, busy streets, even sections of hospitals. So it's not some future reality, it's just a TV production team with filming permits. Now, Javier won't admit his account is just a project, and I don't blame him. It's fun to maintain an air of mystery. But if you watch enough of his videos, you realize it would be so easy for him to prove that he's in a different reality or in the future. He could show the dates on tombstones. He could time-lapse an entire weekend at a typically busy airport, or just fly his drone around the city at rush hour. He never does this. His environments are highly controlled. But still, the videos are fun. But whether a location in the world or a transitional moment in our lives, every liminal space has the same point: to find your way out.
That was a good one. That was a good video. I like that one. I like that one.